So, let me throw this question to you guys out there. Do you guys think Miles Morales is a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker? Now, hold up, let me say this, that I love Peter Parker. Peter Parker's one of my favorite superheroes ever. Miles Morales is also one of my favorite superheroes in the Ultimate Universe. If anything, you guys can thank Miles for making the Ultimate Universe cool again. After, Mark Millar's and also Jeff Loeb's whatever the hell Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum was. So, what we have here, and what I'm trying to say is, Miles has gotten a lot more popular, if not as, he's gotten as popular, if not more popular, than Peter Parker. That's the big question I'm here to ask today. Now, Miles is younger than Peter, and I'm going by 616 Peter, because that other Peter's fucking dead. The big thing with Miles is that he's a very likable person. Here's a guy, a little kid, no more than 13, going on 14 years old. He's more or less, he's bitten by a genetically altered spider, yeah. And he has idolized Peter Parker, and now he wants to, live by his image, He wants to make himself as good as Spider-Man. He wants to be, honor Peter Parker's memory of his universe. He wants to be that. And for the most part, yeah, he does that. And he's thrust in a world that's he's a very optimistic superhero, too. That's what I like about Miles, because, as most of you guys know, the Ultimate Universe ain't so nice. It is in no means a nice place to be. But on the other hand, you have Miles, who's a very optimistic character. He usually gets along with a lot of the characters you see him with, whether it be the Ultimates or, the X-Men or people like that. You see him really interact and hang out with a lot of these characters that are mostly just cynical. And I think that was the big thing with the death of Spider-Man itself, was that the Ultimate Universe kind of went, man, this guy sacrificed everything, so we better nut up or shut up. I feel like that was the big thing with the death of the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, was that we had this character who was again trying to be an optimistic character in a very cynical superhero world, and he died a hero, and that kind of really whipped everyone to shape. And then along comes Miles trying to honor that in his own special way. That's what I really like about Miles, the character of Miles Morales. Also, this is a kid, even after everything, his own uncle, the Ultimate Prowler, the Ultimate Universe Prowler, tried to manipulate him and more or less got himself killed for it. That was kind of the big thing with that character, was that he was kind of a dickbag and tried to manipulate Miles. Where we have Miles Miles rose above that in honor of being what he wanted to be, a hero. That's always what he's wanted to be. Just he has all this great power. He really hits home. I think in this day and age, Miles hits home with great power comes great responsibility than Peter Parker does currently in the Dan Slott comics. Look, Dan Slott, you're a really good writer. I've heard some really good things about Silver Surfer, making it all Doctor Who-ish, and that's really cool. I want to read that. And Spider Island was a great Spider-Man event. I can't take that away. And there was also some really good stuff you did in the Gauntlet story arcs. But, Dan, I'm sorry, Mr. Slott, you need to step down. It's time to finally throw in the towel. I'm sorry, but it is finally time to give it to somebody else. I'm still backing Christos Gage for Spider-Man. Anyway, but getting back to Miles, I think, again, the whole with great power comes great responsibility it hits really home more for Miles these days, because he's still learning that, whereas Parker has learned that over and over again. Miles, in his universe, is still trying to comprehend that, and trying to understand the whole reason behind with great power comes great responsibility in his universe, where people have all this great power, and for the most part, they kind of misuse it. They really do misuse it. They use it irresponsibly. And that's the thing, was that Miles is this very innocent... He's the innocent victim in all this. He really does feel like the poor, the little kid who just is trying to live out the superhero fantasy when everything else is kind of shit. And that's what I really like about Miles as a character, is that in that optimism, that kind of that very young mentality to him. And again, I really like also what Miles is, that he understands that. It's not like, well, everyone, if you have powers, you're a good person. It's not like that at all. He understands that, yeah, I'm living in a world where everyone is mostly a dickbag, and I have to, smile, just put on a good face for most people. So that's kind of the thing with Miles, is that's his big thing, is that he's not naive about the world around him. He knows it's a shit place. The Ultimate Universe is a shit place to live. Especially after what happened with, when Galactus showed up in their universe. It's a really shit place now. So that's kind of the thing I like about Miles, is that he's trying to do what Parker does in the 616 universe and what he kind of did in the Ultimate Universe. Lead by example. That's his whole thing, is that he wants to lead by example throughout this entire story, throughout his entire story. And even, yeah, he's gone through a lot of problems, but he still wants to rise above that and still be a great Spider-Man in honor of, what his universe's Peter Parker was. That's what he's always trying to be. He's not trying to be the superior Spider-Man. He's just trying to be a good Spider-Man. That's all he's trying to be. And that's what, you can't really take that away from Miles. And again, I feel like, with Dan Slott's writing, it's kind of been lost on that. But I don't really blame Dan Slott. My friend Ivan Krolo said that characters like Miles, Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man of 2099, and even Flash Thompson are popular characters because they reinvent and replay around with the Peter Parker's original "with great power comes great responsibility" ideals. They really play around with that and make it their own and update it in this generation, whereas Spider-Man is still kind of living in that mantra. And also, they're growing up. Miles, even Kane, the Scarlet Spider, Flash Thompson, Miguel O'Hara, they're still growing up. Whereas it's not. I don't blame Dan Slott fully for this. I really don't. Is that Marvel has that whole mantra of, oh, we have to keep Peter Parker, even though he's like almost 30-something, we have to make sure that he's like a kid all the time. We have to do that. That's what I feel like Marvel has to do, so I don't fully blame Dan Slott for that. But on the other hand, you have all these other characters, especially Miles, really growing up and taking on that "with great power comes great responsibility" persona, and really going on and playing further with that ideal. And that's what I really love. Not just with Miles, but also with, like I said, Flash Thompson, Kane, Miguel O'Hara, and like I said, yeah, those guys right there. Those Spider-Verse characters right there. But anyway, so I really want to know, guys, what do you guys think of all, do you guys think Miles Morales is the better Spider-Man? I really want to know in the comments below. You guys tell me, do you guys think Miles is a good Spider-Man? Comment below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think what do you think? Do you think Miles is a better Spider-Man than Peter is right now, or do you think it's the other way around? I really want to know. This has been crawling, pun intended, around in my head for a while, and I've just after reading Spider-Man, and I was just like, you know what? I want to talk about this. So here we are. Anyway, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.